Welcome to Boulevard TV. Today from Penticton with Megan Lindo from La Creme. What is it?
So it started out as La Creme de la Creme Skincare and Boutique.
Oh God, that's a long name.
It is a very long name. We now just call it La Creme. Mm-hmm. It was a point of friction between my dad and I because he loves La Creme de la Creme.
Yes, of course.
And I told him...
Does he like the wine too? Because there's a nice wine that's called...
I know, there's so much.
Yeah.
I told him when we started the business, I said, you know, you're picking the most common French phrase.
Yeah.
And he was like, but it means the best of the best. And I was like, we can't just call ourselves the best of the best. Like
Why not?
When he said if we call ourselves the best of the best, we will have to consistently work towards being the best. The best
Good
of the
for
best.
You. That's amazing.
But now we just call it La Creme.
Yeah.
It's so
simple, it's easy, it's
simple,
short.
Easy, La Creme Skincare Boutique.
Yeah, so you've started this together with your dad, I assume?
Yeah, so it's a family business in a sense. My dad's very entrepreneurial. He loves to start businesses, and one of the legacy things he does for his children is he helps us and encourages us by finding what we're passionate about and then supporting us in that. I love skincare. I love everything about skin and helping people with skin. And
my wife too. I think it's like most women just love the nurture, the making sure everything is as organic as possible.
Oh, absolutely. Like you want it to be safe. You want it to be, long lasting. You don't want to find out that in 5 years you were using something that was, not good. So it's technically it is me and my mom who are in business together with this one. Mm-hmm. But this is my baby. Yeah. I love.
You started at the worst possible time. Mm-hmm. February in 2020.
18th. I remember it was.
Oh my God.
I wanted to open after Valentine's Day because we weren't going to get open in time to be effective. Mm-hmm. So I said, let's open after Valentine's Day, February 18th, 2020.
Oh my God.
We went to New York for the spa show. Mm-hmm. So we were in New York. There were 16 of us from Melt Mineral Spa as well because my family owns that. And we were there when New York shut down.
Unbelievable. So you guys got stuck in New York?
We almost got stuck. So the spa show shut down the whole time leading up to it, as a lot of people I'm sure remember when the pandemic first, it hadn't started yet. It was, everything's going to be okay. We're going to stay open. We're going to, we've enhanced sanitization and all these things. So we went because they said we're going to keep the spa show going. And the night before the spa show was supposed to happen, they emailed saying, we're done. We're shutting it down. State of emergency has been declared.
Oh my God.
We tried to get back, but airlines weren't doing anything at that point because it was still so new. So it was going to be too expensive. So we just stayed. We gave the team.
It's not a bad place to stay.
It's not a bad place to stay. I saw Broadway the last weekend it was open.
Oh my God.
We gave the team $100 each and said, go find your specialty. We are in the heart of everything. Like skincare, massage, pedicure, go find your specialty, go experience something and come back so we can build our business. What did you like? What did you not like? We got back and that's when it was if you've been away, please consider, staying home for 2 weeks. We made the decision to close. We thought it was going to be for 2 weeks.
And it was like
4 months.
Yeah.
It was months. We were the first business in Penticton to close because we wanted to take care of our guests. We'd been traveling internationally, we didn't want to cause anything, so we made the decision to close.
And now we're looking. Now you 6 years later. No, 4 years.
4 years. It'll be 5 in February.
God, man, I'm already in 2025.
I know.
You opened your second location already in West Kelowna.
We opened our second location.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'm working towards the third on the coast.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Your family is very entrepreneurial.
Very.
You have siblings?
Yes, I have a younger sister who works within the family businesses. She's on the coast. I have an older sister. She has her own thing down in the States, but she's very successful as well. She gets paid to travel and, take people's photos. And she's a photographer's photographer is almost how she puts it, but she's expanded into other businesses and stuff. So she'll go and photograph like Airbnbs and things like that.
So what was your, when you started this business, your dad came up and was like, honey, I want you to do something, figure it out. You're like, skincare.
So I was already doing facials and things like that over at Melt. I've been a part of the Melt team since it had opened. I started in guest services, and I didn't believe in trying to sell something that I didn't understand. So I learned. I learned as much as I could, fell in love with the skincare side of it, niched all of my education to skincare. So I'm not a full esthetician. I'm always very clear on that. Like, I don't do manicures, I don't do pedicures. I am a skin revisionist or a skincare therapist. That's what all my education is, all my certification. And we knew the lovely lady who had this space. Her name was Caroline. She had a boutique in here. And we always loved this space, the floors, it's and just the cuteness of it all.
Yeah.
And they were talking one day, and she wanted to retire out of retail, but she had a couple years left on her lease. And my dad phoned me and said, Caroline's is available. You ready to do this? Because he knew I always wanted something more skincare based, not a spa, but something more.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, it's available. Are you ready to do this?
And you're like, yep.
And I went, yep. The space we've always wanted is available. Let's do it.
Well, it's convenient. You're right on the main strip here. Like,
Yep.
we're looking at it right now. It's snowing right now. But
it is.
It's beautiful. You're down to the hotel.
Yep.
It's
a perfect location.
Absolutely.
And it's just super cute.
Yeah. So when you researched everything, did you also consider, we were talking about this earlier, white labeling or doing other stuff?
Oh, private labeling. Yeah. It's been a consideration. It comes up in conversation continuously, actually.
Because then you would have your own brand, right?
Exactly. We'd have our own brand. We do private label body stuff, so bath bombs and bubble bath. When it comes to skincare, though, I just can't justify adding another line to the world.
Yeah.
There are so many. You have celebrities coming out with stuff all the time. It's already such a confusing industry. You walk into Sephora, you walk into Shoppers.
I hate that.
And you're
I hate it.
You're overwhelmed.
Oh my God. I went with last week. It was last week. I went gift shopping for my kids.
Yeah.
And with my kids, for my kids. And we walked into Sephora and I was like, I couldn't even stay in there. The overwhelming perfume. We're sitting in here. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
It smells good. It's very discreet. It's not really in your face. You walk into Sephora or those bubble bath. Oh my God. I just want to puke.
Yeah, all the synthetic fragrances and everything.
And it actually smells fake.
Yeah, it can.
It smells very fake.
Yeah. So with not being a chemist myself, I didn't go that route scientifically. I'm not in the lab. I'm not formulating. I'm not finding new things. So I want to leave that to the professionals. So I'm very specific about the product lines we bring in. We do a lot of training on them. I'm not saying that you can't find good skincare at Sephora or Shoppers.
Yep.
It's more just the overwhelmingness of it. What I wanted to do here was to have professional brands, effective brands, ones that we could be highly educated on, so that when people come in and they have questions, they're getting good answers and not generic answers. They're getting it about their skin. So
everybody is different on their skin.
Everybody's different. It's like fingerprints. So when you're on social media and you're scrolling and you see that person, that influencer who's like, oh my goodness, I got rid of my acne with this one product. Come on.
It was probably more catered to their skin.
It was more catered to their skin.
Nationality.
Or they did, exactly, nationality, where you live. The difference between Penticton and Vancouver for the type of skincare you need because of the humidity difference, it matters.
You know what, actually my wife keeps saying that too. Every time she comes to Victoria, she's like, I love my skin here. So nice and moist. And then you live in Kelowna because it's drier here.
Yep.
Or in Penticton. You need
something different. My
Actually,
sister goes to Italy. I keep telling her, move to Italy, girl, because she's had problematic skin her whole life. Her skin loves Italy. I was like, good, move to Italy.
You know what, that you said that a client of mine a while back, his daughter moved to Dubai because she had very severe acne. And then for whatever reason in Dubai, nothing. So then her and her husband moved to Dubai and her skin cleared up.
Yep.
And maybe with products too.
Well, and that's the thing we're talking about our body. This is so much more than, oh, I need to look pretty. And that's the other thing I wanted to shift. It wasn't just the fact that you're on social media and you get influenced to try products and then you're guessing, you're spending lots of money, you can't figure it out, you don't know why. Who do you ask? Who do you go to and say, help me. We live in a really great country where we have access to things like dermatologists, but it can be a wait. And sometimes
it takes forever.
It takes forever. And sometimes you can get in, and for obviously medical things, yes, you need to see your dermatologist. But we're very educated. I spend so much time educating. So
it's almost like you are the bridge between a doctor and a pharmacist. Because you can go to a pharmacist and they can give you...
And they can give you a prescription,
and whatever, and educate you. You don't have to go to the doctor.
No.
Same with you. You don't have to go to the dermatologist unless it's for severe stuff.
Unless it's for severe stuff.
But you can still get educated.
You can still get educated. And it's so much more than even just, like me sitting here going, oh yeah, no, I see this. We have technology. We have what's called a Visia skin scanner. It takes a 180-degree picture. We get 8 images, cross-polarized, and different light wavelengths, which also means that we can track it. Because sometimes we can't see what's happening underneath. And our skin cycles. And so you have to work within a skin cycle, and to see skin change, it can be 3 to 6 cycles, which is 3 to 6 months. So when people come in...
That's how often the skin changes?
Every 30 days, you have cell turnover. And as we get older and everything starts to slow down, it starts to extend. So it can go upwards of 45 days. So when you're younger, you don't need to exfoliate as much because you've got this cell turnover. It's as you get older, you need to look at exfoliating.
You're very passionate about it. Like
I know.
Where is that coming from? Like God, you dive into like.
I do.
Why?
I always say, don't get me started on skincare or Disney because I will not shut up.
Well, we're not going to talk about Disney.
No, we're not going to talk about that. Next time you decide to do a trip with your kids, call me. I'll plan it.
I will definitely not go to Disneyland. No.
I'll plan it for you.
No chance. My wife said we're gonna be in Palm Springs in February. And my wife was like, "Oh, maybe we should go to Disneyland." I will shoot myself before I do that. Don't ask me why.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
You stay in Palm Springs, I'll take them.
But ask me, why cream? Why skincare? Why the obsession? Where did it came from?
I just understood it. I can't always explain why I know what's going to work or how it's going to work. I equate it to cooking. I've been baking my entire life. And my dad tells the story of when I was about, I think I was like 11 or 12. And I wanted to make pumpkin pie. My grandmother had always made pumpkin pie. I wanted to make pumpkin pie. And he says to me, well, pie crust is really tough, Megan. Like, you've done brownies and cookies, but pie crust is really tough. So let's go buy you a pie crust, and then you can make the pie. And I looked at him, and I'm like, but then I'm just putting filling in a crust. Like, to me, that didn't feel like actually making a pie. So I was like, no, I'm going to try this. And I had my recipe, but I also did it by feel. And, little pat on the shoulder to Megan here. It turned out. It was flaky, it was buttery, and I've made pie crust my entire life since. I've never had a failed pie crust.
You just understood.
I understood it. I don't know why I do. And then I found the same thing with skincare. I can be in the treatment room, have my hands on someone's face, and I just kind of know. And I will pivot. And that's also why Le Crème's a bit different, because a lot of times you go into a space. So we don't just have the retail, we also offer treatments. So it's married in that sense, where you're getting that full support. And when I'm in the treatment room, when I was doing services before we opened up this, you go into a spa, you open up the menu, and you have a list of all of these facials. And you pick.
But I don't know what's best for my skin.
You don't know what's best for your skin. You're guessing.
Well, I'm not guessing. I'm just going with preference.
Yeah, preference, guessing, whatever. And so I'd have people on my table, and I'd be going, "Oh, this isn't quite right." And I wanted to shift and pivot, but they've booked in for this facial. You have your protocol, you have your standards, you have all these things. And I went, "There's got to be a better way." So I switched to time-based. So what that means is that you pick how much time you want to spend, and that's it.
Then you decide.
And then I decide. Nice. Based off of the Visia skin scan, based off the consultation, based off of what I'm seeing, feeling. I can be halfway through a facial and I will pivot, and I'll let my client know, you know what? I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing off of the start of what we've done. So we're going to slightly pivot. I told you when we started,
this will change.
This is what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to scrap that. and we're going to do this, and we're going to pivot.
I've read some of your reviews on social media. It seems like it works very well.
It does.
Well, when people don't know, they don't know, and if
don't
you
know.
experience, like I'm a person, I like to see it first. Like people can explain things to me and it doesn't make any sense, but the moment I experience it, it makes sense. So this would actually work very well for me. I'm not saying that I'm much of a skincare person, but
that's who it's for too.
I actually, you know what, I have to say that it was a long time ago, not so long ago, maybe 6-7 years ago. I had a friend of mine, and I never used to moisturize, ever.
I do not judge.
I don't even use sunscreen. I still don't use sunscreen. I know it's not good, but
we're not going to talk about that.
No, but he says, my friend, he's like, I just moisturize, and he had beautiful skin all the time, shiny, like, great. Yeah. I'm like, well, let's just start that. So I started that, creaming my face, and now I'm 44. I think I'm,
not doing too bad.
Not too shabby. Skin looks really good. I'm like, okay, well, so now it's like an every day, every morning.
And that's the key too, is it's about consistency with your home care, not how many products you're using, not like as long as you're using the right products for your skin and you're using them consistently, you will get results.
Yeah.
And
it's like everything.
It's like everything.
Yeah.
And so again, that's where I wanted to be different, in that if you come in and, because a lot of times, we can get very like, I'm gonna change my life, I'm gonna start a skincare routine, and you buy everything.
That's like my wife.
Are you gonna use it though?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to drop. So if we can target it, really dial it in, talk about your life, talk about like how busy you are. Do you have kids? Do you have 2 jobs? Are you a stay-at-home? Are you traveling a lot? There's so many more factors than just skin when it comes to skincare.
Yeah.
And skincare is healthcare. This is our body we're talking about.
Biggest organ.
Yeah. And it talks to us. A lot of times when something is happening on the skin, something's happening internally. There is a brain-gut-skin connection, and we have to listen to it. So I always encourage people, go to a naturopath, get blood work done, try and go to your doctor, because especially for women, hormonally with perimenopause, menopause, that sort of thing, it affects our skin, our stress levels, our cortisol levels, all of this. And so the skincare, the products are a piece of the wheel. And if it's the right piece, it'll be helpful.
Yeah.
It's not the be all and end all.
So that basically makes the difference between you guys and anybody else, or at least the majority of skin companies out there, is you guys provide the special service to make sure it fits the individual skin, not just everybody.
I would rather somebody come in and learn and leave with no product than leave with the wrong product.
Nice.
Sometimes the right kind of no is better than the wrong kind of yes.
You know what? Amen. I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer, before providing the wrong things, don't.
Yeah.
Or before you say the wrong things. Actually, no, I'm not very good with that. I say the wrong thing all the time. So that doesn't really apply. But you're also very fond of your dad.
I am.
Like we just met very briefly.
I'm fond of my family.
Yeah, but you mention your dad a lot.
He's the leader.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to Zane.
So is he like the patriarch of the family, and he's like
Yeah.
making sure everybody's looked after, and
Yeah. He is.
But he also guides you and coaches you?
When he has time. He's a very busy person.
Where does he live?
Right now, he's spending a lot of time in Vancouver because we have 2 businesses on the coast.
Yeah.
I talk in the general we, because it's family.
Yeah.
It's my husband's a part of it. He runs one of the businesses. My sister, my mom, my dad, our
That's awesome.
spa manager, Katie over at Melt. She is honestly like family. I call her my sister. My parents, hopefully she doesn't get mad at me for mentioning this, but her and her husband eloped, basically. They had a very, very, very small wedding. I wasn't even invited. I found out about it like 3 days before it was happening.
Aw.
My parents got to go. They
Nice.
knew about it, were invited, that sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
with the people who are really a part of everything, they're a part of this. We have an HR director, her name's Dio. Today is her third, at time of interview, recording this is her third anniversary of coming to Canada.
Wow.
Her and my younger sister met in Australia. They just absolutely fell in love with each other. They are what I call bestie soulmates. And she was getting her degree in HR. And my parents were like, well, Katrina loves you. We must love you. And we've got all these businesses. We need an HR director. So they sponsored her, brought her over.
Oh my God.
She runs our HR.
For all the companies.
For all the companies.
That's
And
wicked.
she's still my sister's bestie.
Yeah.
She comes over all the time. She just recently got married, so she met her
Nice.
husband here. So I talk about the royal we because it is.
It's virtually a big family.
It's a big family, and not in that way where we talk about, oh, the business is a family. No, we fight. we, Katie and I, we butt heads. We are, and that's why I say we're sisters. And
So you have those little fights going
you
on.
have those little
too.
fights. You
Yeah.
disagree on.
But you know what the
things.
nice thing is, like if you do have fights, because everybody means well.
Yeah,
And has the right intention.
they do,
You just see it differently. And that's okay.
and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine. But it is all led by Zane.
What are the family challenges you see at times?
Oh,
Because I couldn't do it. My family.
I know a lot of people couldn't. There are the challenges of, because I am my own person, and so yes, being raised in a very entrepreneurial, business-minded sense, but I still have developed what I think we should see and do. And of course, my dad is who he is.
So that's
So-
why I'm like, okay, that's sometimes can be a challenge.
It can be a challenge, absolutely. Money is always a thing, right? Where are we going to invest in? Because I, of course, want to see so much more growth for La Creme, so I want to bring like more skincare lines on.
Yeah,
And
or go into another
or
market.
go into another market or something, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm moving a little too fast. Sometimes he's moving a little too fast. He has an idea, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna like do this." And we're like, "Hold on a second, wait, we still have this project over here. Let's slow down." So there's moments where you're like, "Okay, just reel it back in a little bit." But at the end of the day, it's so cheesy, and I would say I hate being cheesy, but my husband is my best friend,
Why is that cheesy? I
And
think that's the way it should be.
and my family is my friends. Like, I don't have a lot of friends because we're busy, we're running things. So the people I rely on, the people I talk to, it's my mom, it's my dad, it's my sister.
Yeah.
And they are annoying. And it can get really frustrating, but at the end of the day, I know they have my back. I have their back. I would do anything for them. They do anything for me.
I think that's a great thing. I think actually that you have that is blessed.
It is. I'm very grateful. I am very aware of what I have in my family. I know not a lot of other people do. I know that I have opportunity because of my family, and I don't want to squander it. So I work very, very hard.
So you commute between the mainland and here, Kelowna. Well, I'm saying mainland. We're still on the mainland.
We're still on the mainland.
Yeah.
Vancouver, I do 1 week in Port Coquitlam, 1 week in Penticton.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that the best way of living a married life?
Oh, no.
No?
I'm attached.
I love it. I love it.
I'm attached to my husband's hip. So my husband and I met. I will give you the very
Please.
short version of this. My husband and I met. 2 weeks after we met, he told me he loved me. A month later, we were engaged. And less than 6 months later, we got married in May. We met in June, end of June. And by the next May, we were married.
Wow.
And that will be 14 years this coming May.
Wow. You guys were like, we're in it, we're all the way, and
I knew. My stomach flipped. I remember thinking, crap, I'm going to marry this guy. I phoned my older sister. I said, I have either met my best friend for the rest of my life or the person I'm going to marry. She said, well, if he's your best friend, why wouldn't you marry him? I said, well, because I don't know how he feels. wrinkles in this moment.
Yeah.
And thankfully he felt the same way. And
Wow.
Yes.
14 years.
14 years. So this has been tough for us because we just love spending.
Yeah.
I can sit in silence with him for hours and just feel comfortable. We just hang out. We're just together.
I love spending a lot of time together, then not spending a lot of time together. Like everybody has their alone time, but I'm also like, what am I supposed to say? I'm on my third marriage, so it's been a few.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for the potential of starting something on the coast so I can be there more full time.
And so you have the infrastructure in place already as is with your dad's, all these companies, HR departments, setting things up. I think that's brilliant actually.
Yeah.
So is that your goal for La Creme, to just take it Canada-wide?
It used to be. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I only hesitate because it's still a little bit there. Mm-hmm. But I love my treatment room. Mm-hmm. So my core goal is to be in my treatment room for as many years as I can be.
Like being literally with the people?
Literally with the people. I love giving facials. And it's this bridge between, we talked about before how it kind of a bridge for people to get information and stuff. And I like to call La Creme a stepping stone. We're not a day spa where it's a very fluffy facial and it's hydrating and you feel kind of nice, but you're not sure about the long-term results. Mm-hmm. And we're also not a medical spa. I'm not a nurse practitioner. I don't do injections. But we do have results-oriented skincare. There's a lot you can do just before you get to that medical aesthetics place.
To tighten the skin and lift.
And lift and certain things like that. And so I wanted to have, again, this bridge between it where you can come in, and this goes back to that brain-gut-skin axis. When you engage the parasympathetic nervous system, it helps to reduce stress, it affects the skin, like it does this whole body thing. So you want that. So you want a treatment that is relaxing, soothing, touch therapy, where massage facials is really important for people, but you want results as well. Yeah. So for me, it's about the foundation. It is your foundational skincare. It's what you're using to keep your skin healthy. It's about healthy, not perfect. Because then if you decide to do more, if you decide that you want to have, a more invasive treatment, if you want to get injectables, something like that, your skin is in a place to better handle it, to give you long-term results. Because you can't go and get Botox and call it a day. You still need to wash your face, wear your sunscreen. Yeah. And so that's what I wanted to create, was that bridge. You can have it all in the treatment.
So then how, between the treatments and the creams, how do you choose the right cream is for you and your clients?
It all comes back to that consultation. The consultation is so important. We also do a consultation just as its own. I will have my clients bring in everything they're currently using, and we go over everything, not just products. We talk about life. We talk about mental health, diet. For example, if you, from a mental health perspective, if you have highs and lows, you have those swings. If you come in on an upswing, again, that I'm going to change my life mentality. January 1st. That is the easiest time that I could sell you like a 10-step routine. If I wanted to just sell you something, I could sell you everything.
Because I'm sure people come in and
they come in and they're motivated to do it, and they want to do it, and they want all the things, and they're ready to do it, and they're committed. But they're committed for that day. What happens in a week or 2 weeks if the low comes? They're looking at all this skincare. They can't remember how to use it. It's overwhelming to use it. It's too much. It's too many steps, so they don't even do one. And then the guilt spiral can start. I spent all this money. Now I'm not using it. Now you feel guilty for even having it. Now you can't look at it. Now it goes in a drawer. Now you're not even using it. Yeah. That is a factor in what you're going to use.
That you said that, actually now I'm thinking about even my wife's drawer. How much fucking cream is in there that she's not using? Not because she doesn't want to. But
it just,
some other shit came up. I was like, maybe I just
all the rest
use that.
of it. And so this all relates and goes back where I said I'd rather have someone come in for a consultation, bring all their stuff, reorganize it for them so that it's in the right order and working properly. Have them buy nothing, leave, and then when there is a hole to fill, come back and I have the recommendation based off of what I know. This is going to be more effective. This is going to be, but also it's your skin. It is still your skin. You're living in it. So if you're using a product that you absolutely love, that you feel you're getting results from, it's not harming your skin, aside from a couple of things. But even the crazy DIY stuff that's out there, I mean, you do you. I'm here to help people that want and need help. I'm not here to tell you what you're doing is wrong. We have enough of that in the world. You don't need your skincare therapist telling you you're also doing something else wrong. There's enough of that.
Well, that's like anybody is very good at telling anybody what they're doing wrong.
Exactly.
But not how to do it right.
But not how to do it right. And so if you're happy with your skin,
so be it.
So be it. Be happy with your skin.
Yeah.
It's only if there's something you need to, want to, feel needs to change, then we have a conversation. We chat.
So then let me ask you this. If I walked in here, brand spanking new, what would be the process of finding out what I need?
We go to the Vizia skin scanner, which is in the back. We do the skin scan. I take a look at it. I ask you a lot of questions, and that's where we start from. And then it is about a facial, because for me, getting my hands on your face helps, seeing how your skin reacts.
Get in line.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? But it does. It helps. So, and there's a very big difference between someone who can follow a protocol and give a facial and someone who can help your skin.
So are most of your clients women or men?
It's a broad range.
Really? Eh?
It is. It leans more towards women, but I do have mostly the husbands. They see how well their wife's skin is looking, and the wives can convince them to come in. Kids as well, teenage boys going through hormonal acne.
Oh yeah,
is a big one, especially if they're sports players, because you're dealing sweating, and also with that too. But it's the habits. It's not about, again, you don't have to buy them 50 different products. It's a couple of products and then habits. Changing the pillowcase, making sure that the hockey helmet's washed out. Making sure that
it's not just one thing.
It's not one thing.
Like they still got to do work to make sure that the skin changes. And you do have a very diverse variety of products in here.
Yep.
How many different brands, roughly?
Oh, that is a really good question. Skincare wise, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're sitting at about 6 or 7 different skincare brands. And I'm actually looking to bring 3 new brands on in the new year.
And why?
For the diversity of it. It's not about, so there's a couple of brands that I have. I only carry a couple of their products because that's the stuff that really works, and it works well with other things. And it's something that one of the other lines doesn't have. So it started, we had Nelly DeVist. It's a line out of Montreal, Canadian line. And they have a beautiful, I call it my foundational line. It's got amazing cleansers, toners, and moisturizers. And I needed something for pigmentation. They have a couple of products, but I needed something a bit more. So I found another line, and they had some really great pigmentation products. And so that's where we focused with that one. And then there's a couple of lines that I have where they've got really great acne products. They have these full ranges.
Yeah.
But I go through, I do the trainings, I learn about the formulations, the ingredients, all of that, and go, okay, what is going to be most effective? What's going to work with what I already have? So that, again, my clients don't have to completely change up all of their skincare that they've been using.
Yeah.
And
more like to enhance some of those things.
So one of the lines we carry, which is clinical, a big focus for us out of their line is their serums. They've got beautiful, potent, botanically driven serums. And that's the main thing that we carry from them. And
so you choose, literally you go in and you say, okay, you are the best for this, and you are the best whatever. And then you go to a different brand and you're like, oh, they're really good at this. So you literally customize.
I even customize what we carry in the store, the same as I would customize somebody's skincare.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very labor intensive. Eh? Like you must
I love it.
spend a lot of time reading, researching. And then how do you educate your staff on that?
We do a lot of training.
Really?
So I also really appreciate brands that have intensive trainings as well. So again, things like Is Clinical, Nelly DeVist, Laboratoire Dr. Renaud, they have online training. So when people first start with us, we're able to get them into it right away. There's videos and things like that. They do hands-on training with me so they can see how it is in the treatment room and just continuous education.
So like a sommelier, you gotta keep practicing,
you keep
gotta
practicing,
tasting.
you keep learning. I haven't stopped learning, and so I expect that the staff don't stop learning either.
Yeah. Well, that's an owner has always thinks a little bit more up there.
more.
That doesn't mean they all pull with them. But you haven't gotten any pushback.
No, because usually, especially when you find people who love skincare, and that's the other thing I look for. I look for people who love skincare as much as I do, who want to learn, who want to educate. So we just had 2 of our staff go through the Oncology Spa Solutions course.
What is that?
That is a skincare course that you take so you are specifically certified to treat clients going through chemotherapy and radiation.
Holy shit.
Because
Okay.
not just anybody can touch that skin. And
They must be very sensitive then, I assume.
they're very sensitive. Chemo particularly changes your body, so your skin can completely change. When you lose your hair can grow back different. So you might have had straight hair, your hair will grow back curly. So not only as people
Actually,
are going...
that might be an advantage.
It might be.
Actually.
It might be. So when you're going through treatment itself, there are things we have to be very aware of. What kind of touch we're giving. You have to be very careful with the lymphatic system. 70% of our lymph is between here and here. Well, that's where a facial is, right? So you have to be very careful with your massage, your direction of massage. You have to be careful what products you're using, what ingredients you're using. Not just anybody can safely give treatment to someone going through chemo
Cancer.
or radiation.
Wow.
And so to be certified in that, and that's very close to my heart because I lost both my grandmother and my aunt. I watched them go through the cancer process, and
I assume they lost.
yeah, they both. So my grandmother passed away, and then 7 years to the day of my grandmother passing away, her youngest daughter passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I wasn't yet in a position with my grandmother. I wasn't doing this yet, and so when I take care of someone who is going through cancer, it makes me feel really good because I get to do for them what I couldn't do for my own grandmother.
Yeah.
You know,
Payback, support,
it's
help.
that payback and the support and the giving back and knowing that, because when you're going through cancer, sometimes you want to forget for a moment. It becomes all encompassing. It is your whole life.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is forget for a moment. And
Yep.
very well-intentioned people can book you into a spa because they're going, oh, let's get you a massage, let's get you a facial or something.
But then they're not trained, so
But they're not
becomes
trained,
actually
and it becomes
torture.
It can either be torture, it can be unsafe, or if it comes up that you are going through cancer treatment, you can get turned away. And now that thing that you wanted to forget about is right back there, smack dab. Yep, can't do this either because I have cancer. Whereas here, you can book in for a cancer-specific facial. We know
Wow.
that you are coming in
For that.
for that. We can time it properly because that's part of the training as well, is understanding when in treatment you would do a facial, because if you're going to be going for radiation or chemo, like, you have to be careful around that time. So we're very specific. It's not just the facial itself, but again, it comes back to life.
You guys are very considerate of you really work with the people.
We want to.
Wow.
We absolutely want to. That is our intention.
This is the most I've heard in that field, that people are getting so invested in this particular industry, in your industry, skincare.
It's absolutely the intention. We can always do better, with things like follow-up and checking in, because of course we do have a lot of clients. So I also like to create two-way communication so that if for any reason someone feels like they've slipped through the cracks, they know they can reach out. So we have a texting system so that if it's like, 1 o'clock in the morning and you have a question, you're scrolling Instagram, maybe something happened to your face, you can send us a message and we will get it first thing in the morning. So you're not doing call, leave a message, we call, leave a message. No, we can text, email.
You're right there.
We're right there.
That's amazing.
And so if you don't hear from us, you can absolutely reach out. We ask people to reach out. I want people to feel they can communicate with us.
I gotta say, I find this fascinating with the oncology, because I didn't even think of that being a huge thing. And I just recently actually met a lady. She was shaved or bald. She went through cancer. She had her breast removed. She looked stunning. And her skin actually was just glowing.
Yep.
So that you have that service that needs to be. Do you work then with the cancer foundations too?
I'm starting to, because the two girls, so for the longest time it was just me who was certified. And when you're the sole person who kind of does something, and you're already doing so many other things, you don't always get to do that reach out that you want to, because I want to be available, I want to have time. And so now that we have more people certified in it, that's what...
So you can step back a little,
It's not even the step back, but it's just, it doesn't have to rely solely on me being available. We have more people are educated. And so now we can do that reach out. We can start letting people know even more, reaching out to the foundations and the cancer units and things like that, saying, okay, we have a team and the team can work with you.
Support with you.
Yeah.
How many people are coming in on average with anxiety about their skin or been traumatized over the years because of acne, because of shaming?
Bad treatments. I have quite a few people who have come in, they haven't had a facial in years because they had a facial and it was like the worst experience they ever had.
That's how I feel about dentists.
You gotta find the right dentist.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not for everybody.
Yeah.
My personality or maybe the way that I do things. And that's why I also like having a team, because if I'm not your person, let's find you your person.
The right person.
And it's why I also, I try to keep in the know on other places. What's their reputation like? What are their services like? That sort of thing. Because again, I would so much rather you find your person and have consistency, even if it's not with me. So I don't want to have competition. I want to work with other places so that people are taken care of.
Yeah. I think that's very genuine and very lovely to do, actually.
Because if I'm not your person, you're not going to come see me anyways. Like, why try and force yourself into... Because
Hey.
it is a relationship. So why try and force yourself into a relationship with somebody that it doesn't work? That, that's not going to help with feeling good about yourself.
No.
So that's my intention. I want people to feel good about themselves, to feel comfortable when they're coming to La Creme, to feel comfortable to ask questions.
So who would be then the right person to come and see you?
Well, somebody who loves Disney. Actually, no, that's not a prerequisite. You might just hear about Disney a lot. I am an unashamed Disney adult. I actually have 2 paintings in here that are Disney-based.
Oh, they are, eh?
They are, yeah. Really someone who is confused, doesn't know their skin, doesn't know where to start, wants to learn, and is in that position where they're willing to trust. Because there is a lot of trust involved.
Especially with the oncology.
Especially with the oncology. The oncology, there's a huge amount of trust involved. And people who have an open enough mind to know that this isn't a miracle fix. I am not promising great skin in a week. Again, this is a relationship. I want to build a relationship with you, work with you, and get you to healthy skin.
I think this is fantastic. Megan, I think you're definitely on the right track here, and success speaks for itself, because you came out in a time when it was the hardest. It showed you there's a service that was needed. You're now in West Kelowna. I'm pretty certain you're gonna be on the main coast too, on the mainland.
Yeah.
On the coast, and who knows where else you're gonna take this?
Who knows? I know. We have exciting things coming in the new year. one of the original things that I wanted before COVID completely took this away, I wanted to have what I call a PlayStation. I wanted people to be able to come in and just try it.
Nice.
Almost like Sephora, but sanitary. No hate to Sephora, but we all So yeah, we're gonna be building that where you can come in, you can play with the products, basically give yourself a mini facial if you want to DIY it. We're going to have some devices that you can come in and use. So things like microcurrent and little handhelds, the home versions of it, so that basically you can try before you buy.
Yeah.
And you can come in and play. You can come play with us.
Well, then we will come back next year then to see when they're around. Megan, thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you for coming.
I want to check some of the stuff out here, so we're going to step into that. And I look forward to our next visit.
I look forward to it too. Next visit, we'll give you a facial.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.